It was 1 o'clock a.m. and she was laughing. She was laughing so hard that she almost wakes up her wife. Fortunately for her, she does not do that. And she says to herself, this will actually make a great story for the book. You know what? I should get on that immediately. So that's exactly what she did. She gets out of the bed. She walks towards the door. She opens up the door. She leaves her bedroom. Well, yeah, you know what? Yes. She leaves the bedroom, actually. So she leaves the bedroom and she is going to her to her office. She opens the office door. She walks in the room. She walks into the office. She closes the door behind her. She sits down at the office table in the office chair. She then grabs her pencil and she begins writing. Now, before we continue, I would love to welcome you to part 65 of the Abigail Freeman story. Of the Abigail Freeman story. Sorry about that. Now that we got that out of the way, let us continue. So Abigail begins writing. It was a beautiful day outside. It was very sunny, almost too bright for my eyes. My mom and I had just eaten breakfast. And I was, quite optimistic about the school day. Of course, that might have something to do with us coming off the incredible high of the American Five performing at our school yesterday by that point. So I patiently waited for the school bus, the pink school bus, by the way. And after that, the school bus came and I sat next to where I always sit next to. I sat at the seat where I always sit. And that is next to my future wife, Margaret, she says in the book. After that, we arrive at the school and we are so excited to learn, of course. I was, as part of the course at the time, and still is. Anyway, I remember being very excited to go to math class again. So I opened the teacher's door. I was the first to arrive, of course, and we, for the half hour, waited for the rest of the students to arrive. Margaret had to go to history class early because, she wanted to get the class done so she can go to math class with me. I decided to skip history class for the time being so I can go to math. So I waited for the math teacher. Well, I'm waiting for the rest of the students because the math teacher was already there by that point. And he was chastising me about, skipping history, telling me how important it was. And I told him over and over again that I want to learn history. Well, I do want, yes. I want to learn history, but I want to learn math first, and then I will learn history. It's not that, yes, I'm going to be late, but that's because I want to learn about the math, man. I want to learn about the math. So please, stop chastising me. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm skipping history. But man, I'm trying my best here, and I want to learn the math, man. I want to learn the math. And then he says, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but do not let that happen. But do not let this happen again. Don't worry, I won't. So we waited for the rest of the students to come to math class. Everybody came to math class. And we began the first lesson. It was very informative. After that, it was time for me and Margaret, me, to go to history class. Now, this time, as I arrived, she was quite forgiving, actually. I told her what I wanted to do, and she says, no worries, I'll forgive you. Thank you so much. I sat down. The rest of the students who were still in history class, who at that point had a for math, was, of course, my school bullies and Ricky and, of course, Robert Mack. And the rest of his friends, or their friends. They was trying to sit next to me, and they succeeded. They said hi, they said hello, and small talk. After that, we learned about history. After that, sorry, but I'm saying that a lot, and I apologize. Anyway, so after we learned about history, it was time for us to go to gym class. Now, this is where it gets messy. So we get to the gym teacher wasn't there. We were early, so we hung out. We just, hung out with each other. I hung out with Robert and Ricky, and the school bullies hung out with each other, of course. And and Beatrice, who was the head bully, of course, well, the popular girl, she decided that she was going to, attack my friend. It wasn't Robert and it wasn't Ricky. It was, of course, Margaret, who was still in math class and could not defend herself. So I decided to do it for her. So I obviously said, no, you can't do that, that's wrong. And the gym teacher came in at the nick of time, right as I was about to get my butt kicked. Well, and we had to do some jumping jacks and some rope climbing. That's why the ropes was in the. That's why the ropes were there. We had to do rope climbing for the rest of the gym class. After that, so as I was getting up to the rope, she pushes me down and almost punches me in the face. I don't, of course. And I told the gym teacher, she almost punched me. Stop it, bitch, stop it. Stop it now. And after that, she did for a while. We did some rope climbing for a couple hours. After that, gym class was almost over. And of course, she decides to, give me a noogie. I didn't appreciate that. But I kept my cool, obviously. And I told the gym teacher that she was giving me a noogie. He didn't stand for that. On my behalf, luckily. And then after that, she got whooped verbally and then sent to the principal office. I sometimes wonder if they were protecting me or something, because every time this sort of stuff happened, I always seem to get the long end of the stick. Not the short end, but the long end of it. The bullies who were bullying me get the short end, which in my opinion, should always be, by the way. It should always be that way. So after we continued rock climbing, we were so hungry. So the rest of the class, went to lunch. And then it happened. So, we went to lunch. We went to the cafeteria where it happened. So, me, Margaret, Ricky, and Robert, Mac, of course, was all eating lunch together, as always. When a couple of Beatrice's best friends and fellow bullies and fellow popular girls decided that they were going to make fun of us. And then I decided to leave the cafeteria. Only I didn't leave the cafeteria because I got punched in the mouth. As I was about to leave, Kathy punches me in the face. Boom! Right in the mouth. It was terrible. It was really, really bad. I decided to run for my life. I decided that I was going to run for my life. I decided that I was going to run for my life. So, that's exactly what I did. Miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Finally, I came to my mom's house. I was fiercely knocking on the door, really, really hard. Finally, she opened the door, and Well, I just cried in her arms. I told her what happened, and after I sobbed for a couple hours, for a couple minutes, and she incredibly understood my situation, and she decided to call the principal and tell her, and told her that she's taking the day off. No problem. I heard what happened, and she deserves that, and she deserves this. She deserves to be taking the day off. That was terrible. Don't worry, she's suspended. And also, obviously, Beatrice is expelled for this time. Don't worry, she's going to be safe. And the rest of the students and the rest of her friends are expelled too. So, all's well that ends well, I guess. After that, she puts back her pencil, and she puts back the pencil in the pencil holder. She sits up. She gets up from her chair, and now she's going back to her bed, her side, and then she goes back to her bed. Or her side of it anyway. She goes back to the bedroom, and she gets back under the covers, and of course she is going back to sleep. To be continued. Well, I hope you enjoyed this wonderful video, and if you did, leave a like, a thumbs up, or maybe, just maybe, subscribe to my channel if you want. That would be very nice of you to do, and I will see you soon. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye for now.